Reza Uteem.
Monsieur le vice-président, la consommation de drogue à Maurice n'est pas un phénomène nouveau. Selon le rapport de la commission d'enquête sur le trafic de la drogue, publié en juillet 2018, présidé par l'ancien juge Lam Chanling avec comme assesseur M. Samiala Letan et Dr Duman, depuis au moins 1834, le ganja et l'opium est consommé à Maurice. Selon un rapport déposé aux Nations Unies en 1952, il y avait en ce temps-là à l'île Maurice 200 consommateurs d'opium réunis dans des fumeries traditionnelles et environ 400 consommateurs de ganja, principalement dans des contextes sociaux ou religieux. L'usage était localisé, personnel et dans la plupart des cas récréatif. Et puis, dans les années 80, sous le régime du gouvernement MSM, Jack Napier, le trafic de drogue et la consommation de drogue a pris son envol. Le rapport de la commission d'enquête sur la drogue présidé par le juge Sir Maurice Rowe, publié en 1987, avait répertorié plusieurs types de drogues différentes consommées à Maurice. Des drogues dures comme l'héroïne et surtout le brown sugar. Le rapport dénonçait aussi le lien entre les trafiquants de drogue, les politiciens et les membres du gouvernement. Avec l'entrée au gouvernement du MMM dans les années 90, il y a une certaine accalmie. Et en 1996, sur le premier gouvernement Parti travailliste MMM, la NATRESA est créée en vertu du National Agency for Treatment and Rehabilitation of Substance Abusers Act 1996. NATRESA remplace le Treatment and Rehabilitation of Drug Addicts Trust Fund Act avec pour objectif principal la mise en œuvre des programmes visant à prévenir la consommation de drogue ainsi qu'à assurer le traitement et la réhabilitation des drogués. La NATRESA travaillait en étroite collaboration avec les ONG et les travailleurs sociaux. Avec la NATRESA, les consommateurs de drogue étaient considérés comme des victimes ayant besoin de soins et de réinsertion sociale. Par la suite, un programme d'échange de seringues a été mis en place et le traitement des drogués à la méthadone fut introduit. Mais, Monsieur le Vice-président, le retour aux commandes du MSM avec les Jagnat père et fils à partir de décembre 2014 va tout chambouler. En 2016, la NATRESA, qui réunissait les forces vives de la société, est abolie par pur fanatisme politique et incompétence. Elle est alors remplacée par la Harm Reduction Unit au sein du ministère de la Santé. Les ONG, les travailleurs sociaux sont mis à l'écart. L'industrie de la drogue connaît un véritable boom économique. De nouvelles drogues font leur apparition, notamment les drogues de synthèse, moins chères et bien plus accessibles. Monsieur le vice-président, sous le régime Jagnat-Fils, on peut parler de véritable démocratisation à l'accès de la drogue. La drogue baguette figure. Personne n'est épargné. Tout le monde, indépendamment de son appartenance ethnique ou religieuse ou de sa classe sociale, est concerné par ce fléau. Les riches, les pauvres, les villes, les villages, tout y passe. Selon une enquête nationale sur l'usage de la drogue menée en 2022, environ 111 500 Mauriciens seraient consommateurs. Pour un petit pays de notre taille, c'est tout simplement inconcevable. Les consommateurs de drogue sont de plus en plus jeunes. On observe des cas de consommation au sein des collèges et parfois même dans certaines écoles primaires où des enfants s'adonnent aux drogues de synthèse. Les réseaux sociaux regorgent de clips montrant des jeunes, garçons et filles, en train de fumer des bongs dans un état second. Nous devenons une véritable société de zombies. Quelle honte, Monsieur le Vice-président, que la United Nations Office on Drug and Crimes ait classé Maurice au premier rang des pays africains pour la consommation de drogue de synthèse lors d'une enquête menée l'année dernière. Maurice, première au sein de la région de SADC en matière de trafic de drogue de synthèse en 2020, selon l'indice de crime organisé en Afrique. Et n'oublions pas, Monsieur le Vice-président, sous l'ère du MSM, pas une seule condamnation de grands trafiquants de drogue pendant les 10 dernières années. Aucune volonté politique de combattre le trafic de drogue. Et 30 ans après le rapport Rôle, le rapport Lam-Channing fait le même constat, le même lien étroit entre les trafiquants de drogue et ceux qui sont proches du régime MSM. Ce qui rejoint le constat de Organized Crime Index Africa dans son rapport de 2023, qui écrit, et je cite, « Despite the existence of specialized units, the fight against drug trafficking is believed to be largely cosmetic due to widespread corruption and inefficiencies in law enforcement bodies. » Une union sacrée entre le MSM et les barons de la drogue. Mais tout cela va changer, Monsieur le Vice-président. And it all starts today with this bill and the setting up of the National Agency for Drug Control. The agency will play a crucial role for the reduction of both demand and supply of drugs in Mauritius. On the supply side, contrary to what the Honourable Leader of the Opposition seems to be suggesting, the agency will not replace LADSU or any other drug enforcement agency. What it will do is to ensure a better coordination among the various drug enforcement agencies. The Lam-Channing report observed at paragraph 2.17, and I quote, "The need for an active, real and efficient regional and international cooperation to exchange information, intelligence and help, which is sorely lacking as deposed before us by the ADSU." This is precisely what the agency will do as set out in section 8, subsection 1E, subsection 3 of the bill, where this agency will be responsible for regional and international cooperation. The agency will also have a policy, research and strategy division that will collect and analyze data, which will then provide valuable information to drug enforcement agencies. The agency is also required to assist the Financial Intelligence Unit in tracing money related to drug trafficking. This is extremely important, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. Allow me to explain. Today, we import most of the drugs that we consume. Other than cannabis, everything is imported. And in order to import drugs, we need hard currency, foreign currency, because they don't want our rupees. At the same time, when drugs are sold in Mauritius, the proceeds is in rupee. The consumer pays in rupee. So somewhere, someone must be converting these rupees into foreign exchange, which will then be used to pay the drug for the import of drugs. And again, the Lam-Channing report, at paragraph 15.136, noted that the FIU had never received any report of suspicious transaction from any money changers. This is a significant shortcoming that must be addressed and will be addressed by the agency, because no money, no forex, no drugs. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, it is on the demand side that the agency will have the most crucial role to play. The action of the agency will be on 3 levels: prevention, treatment, rehabilitation. For its prevention and public awareness division, the agency will lead campaigns at national level and also in education institutions, place of work, and place of worship. Through its treatment rehabilitation service division, the agency will work closely with the Ministry of Health and NGOs and the Drug Users Administrative Panel for the adequate treatment and rehabilitation of drug victims. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the Lam-Channing report had recommended the conversion of Petit Verger prison into a national treatment and rehabilitation center. I am sure the agency will look into this possibility and make recommendations in due course. At the moment, there are a number of NGOs which operate treatment and rehabilitation centers. And I salute them for their efforts. Most of them are volunteers. However, these centers, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, are not always run with professionals. Some patient has complained about ill treatment. Others have even filed kidnapping charges against the operators. And last year, at least 2 patients died when they were supposed to be following treatment at these rehabilitation centers. Those centers will have to be properly regulated, licensed, monitored, and run by qualified drug therapists. And the agency will be mandated to ensure that this is so. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the agency will also have an HIV and AIDS prevention and care coordination division. The reason is because today, the main vector of transmission of the HIV/AIDS virus is through drug injection. In my constituency, I know of several women who were infected by their husband, who themselves were infected in prison. And I know 2 women who actually transmitted the virus to their children. And these women are very scared to come forward and get the required treatment because there's still a stigma attached to HIV and AIDS victims. So the agency, again, will have an important role to play in implementing harm reduction program to prevent, detect, and treat drug victims who have HIV and AIDS. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I welcome the fact that the Minister responsible for Labour will be part of the National Drug Control Commission, to be headed by the Honourable Prime Minister, and a representative of my ministry will sit on the Drug Control Board. My ministry has an important role to play in the prevention and rehabilitation of workers who are drug victims. Officers from my ministry will regularly be conducting training workshops to sensitize employers on the dangers of drug addiction, but also how to cope with workers whom they suspect to be drug addicts. I'm informed by officers of our ministry that an increasing number of employers have been terminating the employment of their workers because of high absenteeism and fall in productivity linked to drug consumption. Our nation cannot afford to lose its workforce. But the biggest challenge, however, remains the provision of employment to victims of drugs once they come out of addiction. Although the law prevents any form of discrimination during recruitment process, the harsh reality, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, is that it is very difficult for a drug victim to find a job. And this very often is the main reason for their relapse. We have to change our mentality. But we should also seriously consider amending the 2nd schedule of the Certificate of Character Act. As the law currently stands, a certificate of character will always set out the conviction of any offense under the Dangerous Drugs Act, irrespective of the date on which the offense was committed. Many drug victims are convicted for possession of drugs, even in small quantity for personal consumption. Once they are convicted for a drug offense, it is extremely difficult for them to find a job, but not only a job. I know of cases where they were not even admitted to university because of possession of drugs. So the only way out for these people, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, today is to apply to the Commission on Prerogative of Mercy to get a free pardon. But not everyone is the son of the former Commissioner of Police who will get a pardon just for the asking. It is a costly procedure with uncertain outcome. The agency will no doubt look into this matter. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, various NGOs and social workers who deal with drug victims have called for the legalization of the consumption of certain type of drug, namely cannabis. Several orators before me have touched on the subject. The bill does not envisage such legalization at this point. But again, I am sure that the agency will carry out the necessary consultation, will examine the consequences of legalizing ganja, and will come up with appropriate recommendations which can then be debated in this House when the time is right. Before resuming my seat, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, allow me to express my profound disappointment with the attitude of the Honourable Leader of the Opposition, who chose to play the role of un prophète de malheur instead of supporting the setting up of this agency. May I remind him that Section 5, subsection 3 of the bill clearly provides that the agency, in the discharge of its function, exercise of its power, will be under the direction and control of nobody, no authority. The agency will appoint its own staff and consultant on such terms and conditions as the board will determine. This is outlined in Section 15 of the bill. So we have absolutely no qualm about the independence of this agency. De toute façon, Monsieur le Vice-président, c'est la personne qui fait l'institution. Et je n'ai aucun doute que le tandem Samiola Dotan et le docteur Faisal Suleiman feront des merveilles. Et je leur souhaite bon courage. La population est derrière vous. Merci.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Mr. Soumon.